Good morning. This is Cook's Forest, Pennsylvania, State Forest. We're just pulling out of it, going in and out of private and public land here on the edge of the State Forest. We just wrapped up the Bigfoot Festival and it is beautiful. It was a light rain this morning. Lots of dynamic depth in the sky and cloud cover. We got some mountain rain, which is pretty common up here. I'm going to take a left on 62 or 66 down here and then go north. From there we will hit 666. So Pennsylvania's little Devil's Highway there. And it is beautiful. Nice twisties. The roads should be, although slick, they will be clean. Fun was had by all. I stayed in a nice cabin. Ended up, I was going to sleep in a camper at the campground, but we had some technical difficulties, so I ended up sleeping in a cabin with my family, who came down and had a little bit of a reunion there at the festival. Sasquatch wanted to meet us all. We got a pretty good Bigfoot hunt in that evening. So I'd share some footage of that also. And I think we heard a bear. Definitely sounded like the soft pads of a bear coming through. And I don't know if you've ever seen one, but they're very quiet in the woods. I would say that they're even more quiet than a deer. A deer relies on speed, I think, and agility and early warning. Those big old ears. But a bear, I mean, it'll move and it'll move fast. And it was either Sasquatch or a bear, what we heard. But I had a good time with my cousins walking around in the woods looking for Sasquatch, so I think we all agreed that it needs to be repeated in the future. We might change our location next time. Maybe go a little more rural and deeper. Kind of a bad intersection here. Allegheny National Forest. It's just the smell. I wish I could relay that. I love the West Coast forests and the tall trees, but there is something about the way the East Coast forest smells that is just restorative. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it's the plethora of pines out west that sort of, or the lack of variety. I mean, it is its own smell, but out here it's a lot more diverse. It's I mean, you have your pine groves and you have your deciduous trees. Even the soil itself, rich, black. Must be the ozone or the nitrogen. It does get hot in the Allegheny National Forest, but it's the mornings and evenings are pretty cool. I would say the mornings more so than the evenings. Should be coming up on 666 shortly. Yep, here it is. This GoPro is still running. I'll just keep glancing down every now and then. This area has grown up quite a lot since I remember it. Remember it last. Was, I suppose, a paved forest trail, but it's pretty well maintained now, but I have come across washouts. Washouts are common. Debris in the road is common, especially in the fall. And of course, you've got your fishermen and your hunters and your campers and RVs go up and down. I think there's a couple RV locations along the river here. This is the perfect condition for this. After a rain, roads are nice and clean. Man, even here, this is really grown up. I can never spend enough time here. Absolutely love it. So beautiful. I wish I was a resident. Wish I could live up here. Stunning. In the great scheme of things, I'm sure these aren't old growth, but they are some of the oldest growth I think I've been in. I don't know what would be older. Maybe sequoia? That's an interesting question. I have to say, I know they manage this forest and log it, but there are places where the ferns grow high, and it does seem like a primordial forest. I absolutely love that. I love the feeling that a place is untouched. You know, I think everyone does. I think everyone that is an outdoorsman has a love for that type of place. And I love it. I can say I honestly love this place. Hard to live here. Yeah, in the winter, I'm sure, and it's quite distant from many things. And the road is a little bit uneven, so you have to be careful, especially along the divider there. Or the two halves. I don't know if they come down and pave it in two halves or what they do, but it was a little wet here and uneven. It's been a while since I've been up here. A lot of blind curves. But that is what we love, isn't it? We love the dangerous roads. I guess motorcycling isn't dangerous enough. We have to seek out places like this with the twists and the turns and the ups and the downs. Stick in the road. I am riding, but I'm also looking for something to jump out into the road. And I'm looking at road conditions. I'm looking to see if there's a lot of gravel laying around. I'm looking to see if they have stopped or they're cold patch in certain areas, like right there, where it may either be very loose or very bumpy. If it isn't completely set yet, or, you know, almost like a tar and chip sort of consistency. As on these corners, that's going to drop you like a bad habit. Also trying to stay loose on the bars, so that my arms and shoulders don't fall asleep. It's much better without gloves. Try to stay loose and ride with your hips, not so much your arms. Of course, you're gonna need your arms. You got to counter steer in an emergency, but try to stay loose. Really pinch that tank with your thighs. But if you're on a bike where you can't do that, good luck, I guess. Just slow down and enjoy the ride. If you get some bug squat on your visor, don't wipe it. It makes it much worse. Wait till you can actually clean it off proper. All right, here's a little bit of a bump here, so make sure I keep control of the bike. It's also close to the river, so I want to make sure that they're, you know, fishermen aren't going to pull out in front of me. It's not uncommon for them to pull off the side of the road down here. Like right here. This may even be an overlander rig. Not sure what that was. You don't have to go very fast down here to get that sense of speed. Being a Star Wars nerd, it is a little bit like Endor when you're riding through the forest. There's a lot of different ways to get that sensation. Even if you've never seen those movies, I think people who ride four-wheelers through the woods, that's sort of why they do it. It's very thrilling to be in a tight area like that, moving. You don't even have to be moving very fast to get a greater sense of speed. Some people, I suppose, are terrified by it for good reason. And even this would be too fast for most. But compared to, you know, the Isle of Man TT or something like that, it's pretty tame, which is a race that they also close the road down for. And a lot of times it's other drivers that present the greatest hazard, and they don't even necessarily have to be doing anything wrong. One little mess up, you go across the line, or where the line should be on a road like this, and game over for a few months or forever. Or you're walking with a limp the rest of your life, walking with a prosthetic. The normal person slows down and appreciates all that, and the biker does not. The biker lives more in 5 minutes than a lot of people live their entire life, and I think that's probably an argument that is made for any type of extreme sport or anything that's sort of dangerous. You really got to love it, though, to justify it. Downshifted early there. Big bump here. Slightly off the saddle a little bit. Bring some of your off-roading skills to this road. Let your knees absorb some of the impact. A lot of motorcycle instructors and riders, especially on the Harleys, I mean, I'm sure everything about them is different. They'll tell you, you know, don't leave the seat. You see a lot of videos on YouTube where people bounce out of their bikes. But if you're riding something like what I am here, it's a little bit different. They're built for this sort of terrain. In the word, there's some gravel right there. In the words of Chris Ledoux and Garth Brooks, keep your mind in the middle while your butt swings around and around. That's new. That must be a campground there. A paved road. I've never been there. I don't think I've ever seen it. Oh, wow. There's something's moving down there. Oh, it's a bird. Okay. Let it drop off there. Don't wear polarized sunglasses on these mountain roads either. You've got a very stark contrast here between the dark woodland and the bright sunshine, especially if you're riding into the sun like I am today. You need to be able to see movement. I derive so much enjoyment from motorcycling. I'm very happy to share it with all of you. And I love connecting with people who also enjoy it as much as I do. And I love watching their videos. I love watching what they share. Not sure what this is here, but a little bit of a residential area. It's definitely good to slow down for those. People vacation, they bring their kids, they bring their pets. I mean, you don't know what's going to jump out into the road. It's one thing if a deer takes you out and you hurt yourself, if you kill the deer, but Sunday might not be the best day to ride something like this if there are campgrounds nearby. A lot of people are breaking camp, but today, holy smokes, there's hardly anyone out here. Oh wow. GoPro is still blinking. That one snuck up on me. It can also be hard not to stare at the scenery when you're driving through a particularly picturesque area instead of riding. A fluttering leaf or a bird may catch your eye just for a moment and may, for whatever reason, strike you as picturesque. But I know on 101 it was pretty hard to stay focused on what you're doing, just because the raw beauty of it. Try to strike a balance between enjoying the ride and enjoying the scenery. Not going too fast, but not putzing either. And trust your own instincts. Don't try to impress anybody or ride above your riding ability. But most bikers are going to push just a little bit. Everyone wants to think that they are smart, or smart enough or skilled enough to, that they will survive whatever they're attempting. But you do have to stay grounded. You do have to admit when you make a mistake, even to yourself, even if it's just to yourself. Because you can think you may behave one way, and then you get on a motorcycle or you jump out of an airplane or whatever it is you're doing, and something else takes, okay, that's not a stop sign for us. It doesn't hurt to slow down and check, though. I mean, a lot of four-wheelers don't necessarily ride by the rules of the road, although they shouldn't be on the road. Or I guess in the past they shouldn't have been. But I think I just heard this weekend that after COVID, anything is platable now. It's a bit like Ohio. Oh, here we go. All right, we just lost the GoPro, so I'm gonna pull over and change that battery. May clean off my helmet. Something tells me it's the 360 video that most people are going to find most enjoyable, and I'm sure that's still going, but I'll also check on that. It's a good spot here. Loose gravel here. All right, so got a big juicy bug off my helmet, clean the windscreen, change batteries in both cameras. The GoPro, which is running at 62%, but we got to be about halfway through 666 here. Did a quick tire check. Checked the swing arm. Changed the oil. No, just kidding. Pull up my pants. Dump the bike and gravel. Also keep in mind that in the dips and grooves, hills and valleys, the hollows, that there's not cell phone service everywhere. So when I stopped to take a selfie, well, when I took a selfie there, I noticed my phone did not have service. We were sort of plagued by that all weekend, even in Cook Forest there. Most of us had one bar or no bar. Messages were sent when they could be. We're definitely getting some chicken strips off our tires today. I think I'll have some worn back in on the drive home though. Oh, and parting is such sweet sorrow. Already we've reached the end of 666. I did not. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Something I picked up in my drive across the country. A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't want to be passed, or it could be coincidental, but the way that they drive, it would seem as if they are attempting to control the speed on the road. And so I have found that rather than try to pass them and create some sort of an incident that person then runs you down or something, just wait a few minutes. Wait for them to have the road to themselves. It's nothing worse than filming one of the most beautiful roads, one of the most beautiful areas, and doing it behind a minivan or someone drunk in a pickup truck. The trick here is to wait just long enough that they can get out ahead, but not so long that you have another person coming up behind you. The art of enjoying your ride. Sometimes it is best won through patience. There's some kind of race going on back there. Allegheny 100. Bicycle race. Wow, this really opened up. Alright, looks like we've reached the end now. That was cool. Had a young Steven Spielberg back there, dressed in World War II attire on his bicycle. Very awesome. Route 6 will carry me to the Ohio line where it becomes 2 something, and then damn near runs into 90. In fact, I could probably even pick up 90 before that, outside of Girard. I forget what the name of that town is. North Bloomfield comes to mind, but I'm not sure that's it. But I'll probably just take a straight beeline home. There's some pretty good vistas on Route 6, but I mean, it's not the most spectacular road in the world. But it is time to go home. I have my footage and I have my ride, and I'll probably let all this run until it goes dead. But I bid you all adieu, and thank you for joining me for the 2024 Bigfoot Festival, Bigfoot search, and corresponding camp, followed by a ride on one of my favorite roads in probably, I don't know, 1,000 miles. It's the 666. It's not for all motorcycles. It's a bit bumpy. It's a bit narrow. It's challenging. It's a bit technical with all the dips and the sways and the chicanes and the horseshoe curves. But if you ride that, do be very careful about road conditions and ride appropriate for your machine too.